Well, we'll see some common themes in all four of these things that we're going to do. Okay, we're going to do physical property, chemical property, then we're going to switch gears and go physical change and chemical change. And there's not a lot of difference between. There's not a lot of difference between them, and there are a lot of characteristics between physical property and physical change are the same. Okay? They just changes is actually something that's taken place in the present, or it's already been done. It's in the past. And this is kind of like future. Okay? We're looking at the properties of substances, and then their chemical identity is not changed at all. Okay? Any questions? We'll give examples for all of these. Okay? Any questions on physical property? Properties observed that does not alter a substance's chemical identity. So, like water, what would not change water's chemical identity? Doing something to it would not change it. So, give me some. What's that? Right. Like it evaporates, then it's just spread out, right? But it's still H2O. If it freezes, it's still H2O. Can you give me something else about water? Maybe that's all we can get, but we can look at boiling point. That doesn't. That's a property of water. It boils at what temperature? 100. What'd you say? 212 Fahrenheit. We like to use Celsius in here as much as we can. So 100 degrees Celsius freezes at 0. That's pure water. Okay. And it has to be under a certain condition too. But that's atmospheric pressure affects the boiling point. So here in Beatrice, it boils at like 98 degrees because we don't have as much air above it, and so it reaches a point to boil quicker if it's higher altitude. So it boils quicker under those conditions. All right, so we'll give you some more cases like that we're going to take a look at. All right? The next one is chemical properties. So these are very different. The only thing that's common is that they have this word property in it. So we got chemical property. Okay? Describes the ability of a substance to change its chemical identity. So, this one's changing its identity. Physical, you can't change its identity. Okay, it's still at its, when we look at its structure, physical, its structure, main composition doesn't change. Chemical, the identity changes. It's no longer the same substance. So that's a chemical property. Okay, describes the ability of a substance to change in its chemical. So it's future. Well, if I do this to this substance, it will change into something else. Can you give me a word that describes something that if we do something to it, it's going to now change into something else?
Wood.
What about wood?
If you burn wood, it turns into ash.
Okay, so wood can burn, and that would represent its chemical property, right?
Yeah.
So, or you could say it's flammable. So wood's flammable, which means it can catch on fire. Are there some things that are not flammable that would be good to have in case something that, would that be a chemical property if something can't start on fire? It's just an ability. So does it have an ability to not catch on fire? That would be a chemical property as well. What's something that we don't have in schools anymore that was an insulator that didn't catch on fire very easily? Anybody know? Asbestos. What's bad about asbestos? What's that, David? But why was what was it flake and get in the air and you breathe in the air and methyl? There are some ads on, you can get money, lawyer, if you got this methylphenol. I can't even. Yeah, and that had to do with asbestos. So I think the middle school, they had asbestos down there, and there was tiles that were asbestos, and they have to get rid of all those. Okay? But they're good retardant, meaning retardant means it doesn't allow things to catch on fire. Okay? And that's what that would mean. Okay? All right. I got to keep my promise. Next thing, these are really, really similar. I realize that. Physical change. Now this is meaning present or past. So physical change is something that is taking and happening right now, or it's already taken place. Where a property is more like future, something flammable. Okay? And when we look at especially chemical changes or chemical property. Okay? So, we'll give you that one and then the next one right away. Okay? It's an altering of a substance that does not affect its identity. Okay? So can you tell me how you can alter metal and not change its identity? What can you do to metal? Yep. You can bend it. Just raise your hand. So you can bend it. Does it change what you have? No. What else? Melt it. Doesn't change its identity. It's still that metal. It's just in the liquid form. What else? Anything else? Okay, ductility means to draw into a thin wire. So metals are really hold together well, and you can pull them into really thin wires if you want to, or you can make them really thick, depending upon what you're using them for. Okay. Did you have one that's different? Right. I mean, you and it still holds together in certain spots, so you can cut it. You can tin snips in that and cut it and take it apart. That would be physical change. You can drill into it. It's still metal. It's just in a finer granules that's left behind. So those would all be examples of physical change that does not alter when we take a look at metal. Okay, and the last one is chemical change. Okay? This is real similar to the last one, but we change the identity. So I'm altering almost the same, but we change the identity of a substance or substances, and an S on there, identity. Okay? An altering of a substance's identity. That's what a chemical change is. Okay. So, I still got a little bit of time before I show you demonstration. So, I'm going to put some words up here. I thought about how I could do this, and I've already changed what I want to do. I'm going to put some words up here, and you tell me if they fit under the physical property. I'm not going to say physical change or physical property. We're going to say either physical or chemical identifiers. Okay? So, I'm going to put some of these up, and I'm going to switch them around a little bit. Some of these we maybe already talked about. You don't have to write them down. I'll include these later on tomorrow. That's enough. All right. Malleable. Physical?
Malleability is a physical property.
It's just being able to be molded and bent. So I'm going to physical, I'll circle, and then chemical, I'll underline. So malleable is a physical trait. Doesn't change its identity. How about brittle?
Physical?
Physical. It's kind of opposite of malleable. It's something you try to mold and shape and it breaks apart really easy. That's brittle. Okay? Corrosive. Raise your hand if... Yeah. Chemical. What do you think corrosive means?
Did you say like when a battery corrodes it? Like,
Yeah, when you look at the battery, it starts to corrode. It gets kind of crusty. We can actually see a change occurring, taking place. Some crust appearing, and it's kind of white where it wasn't before. When you work in the lab, should this be a word that you be aware of a little bit? Why?
Because it means it can, like, I don't know how to word it, but like it can go through certain material and cause damage.
Right.
I don't know.
Right, I mean, it can degrade something. So, what if you get it on your skin? Something's corrosive. Right, because what might happen? Right, and it reacts with your skin, and it doesn't feel good. Okay? So, corrosive... Oh, why did I circle it? Okay? I'm just getting the habit. Oh, that really gets rid of it there. Okay? Okay? So, how about unstable? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah? What do you think unstable? Tayton? Yep. If something's unstable, then it's probably going to be breaking apart into some other substances. So we say something's unstable. What about stable? Would that be chemical? Yeah, it would be if it's unstable or stable. Okay? Oh, I got rid of the other one. That's okay. Conductor. Let's have somebody else answer. Conductor. If it's a conductor of heat or electricity, what do you think? What do you think? Chemical? Does the substance change when you run electricity through wire? No. When you run heat through something, does it change its makeup? No. So that would be physical. About rust. That's chemical, right? Something rusting, it's going to be brittle instead of... Okay, we're almost through. Keep my promise. Reactive is chemical or physical? Chemical. Density. Physical. You guys are getting this. Melting. Physical. Okay? And I could keep putting more and more words down, and you can tell me if it's physical or chemical. So, if it says that copper is a good conductor of electricity, you would say that is a physical change or physical property? Physical property, right? Okay? If I said that the water all boiled off, would that be a physical change or a physical property? Physical change. It's past. It's already happened. Okay? So, if you know some of these descriptors, then you can tell me if it's chemical or physical. That should not be an issue for you to have. Okay? While I'm getting some chemicals out, because I have to have chemicals to show chemical reactions, right? Go ahead and grab your book. from down below and turn to page 26. Turn to page 26.